Just because you haven't sold a lot of homes yet doesn't mean you're worth less than someone else or that you don't bring value to a client relationship. So why is it that so many real estate agents think they have to discount their fee? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today. And P.S., have a pen and paper ready. You're going to need it for this one. Are you tired of feeling like you're doing all the things as a real estate agent but still not seeing consistent results? Well, that ends right now. Welcome to The Profitable Real Estate Agent, the show for agents who are ready to stop winging it and start building a profitable and sustainable business. This season, we're going to cut through the noise and focus on exactly what it takes to make $100K as a real estate agent, without the guesswork, without the overwhelm, and without wasting time on things that don't move the needle in your business. I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact framework that took me from my first $100K to $500K to building a seven-figure business. So if you haven't hit $100K yet or you struggle with inconsistency, don't worry, I've got you covered. It's time to take action. Let's get to work. I've heard it all before. I'm new, so I have to charge less, Vanessa, or if I don't give a discount, I'm going to lose this client. Or even, other agents are charging less, so I have to match them. But I want you to understand these are thoughts and stories you are telling yourself. Buyers and sellers don't always hire the cheapest agent. And yes, there are buyers and sellers who only see value in what you charge. And a lot of times you're not going to be able to change their mind. And honestly, these are probably the people you don't want to work with anyways. The bigger issue here is that too many agents tie their experience or lack of experience to their fee. And that's where the pressure we feel to discount comes from. So what do you do when you feel that pressure? How do you stop second-guessing yourself every time a client asks for a discount? First, you have to know your value and communicate it clearly. Think about it. What have you done when a buyer or seller says, will you do it for X? Or the other agent said they'll do it for Y. Or maybe even more directly, we'll only pay X. If you're not prepared in that moment, it is very easy for us to get flustered. And the second you do, guess what? The client can feel it. That's why you've got to know your value and be ready to communicate it in a way that's short, simple, and confident. So here's a couple examples if you want to go ahead and steal some of these. When you hire me, you're getting strong negotiation, clear communication, and a strategy designed to net you the most money. Now, from here, you can back it up with a quick example or story and explain how this helps them towards their goals. The second one is, I'm not here just to get your home sold. I will strategically price your home based on the competition, implement a marketing plan that ensures you get the most exposure, leveraging my knowledge of social media, if that's in parentheses here, if that's what you use as a strategy. And lastly, use my negotiation skills so you walk away with the best possible outcome. You could add a quick stat here like days on the markets compared to an average or a story about listing a home that sold above asking price because of your pricing and marketing strategies. Number 3, you're not just hiring me to list your home, you're hiring me also to manage the entire process from start to finish with as little hassle as possible. I help you solve problems before they become a problem, before they cost you money, and I'll do everything possible to get you to the closing table. That's another one. Number 4, I do more than just put a sign in the yard and throw it up on the MLS like most agents do. When you hire me, you're going to get an advocate and trusted advisor. You'll never be left guessing what's happening, and I will keep everything on track so you have peace of mind throughout the transaction. Now, it is really important when you pick your value statement, whether it's a combination of this or something you find on your own, because the more you practice, the more you're going to say it with confidence and conviction, and the less flustered you'll become when you get asked the question. Now, this is something I cover extensively in my signature program, Roadmap to 100K. Link is in the show notes if you're interested in joining that. Now, even when you know your value, the real test comes when a client asks you to discount. This is where most agents start second-guessing themselves, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Hey, a real quick pause before we go deeper. If you're listening right now and thinking, I want a clear plan to finally reach 100K, then check out my signature program. It's my step-by-step framework for real estate agents who are ready to stop winging it and start building real results. Inside, you're going to learn the exact fundamentals to build the foundation to hitting 100K. We're going to cover everything from mastering your buyer and seller consultations to building your database and delivering a 5-star client experience and everything in between. You're going to get access to my scripts, templates, and checklists. Plus, we're going to have coaching, accountability, and support so you never feel alone. Click on the link in the show notes now to join the roadmap to 100K. All right, let's take you back to the episode. Now, even if you're clear on your value and you deliver it with confidence, this doesn't mean that you'll never get an objection about your fee, because I promise you will. So you're going to need to practice how to overcome these objections so you're prepared when a seller or buyer asks you to discount. Because when a client pushes back on your fee, it's very easy for us to take it personally. And a lot of times it triggers those stories I mentioned earlier. I don't deserve to charge what I want to charge, or if I don't lower my fee, they'll just hire someone else. Now, I've been there, and recently I shared a full story about what happened to me in episode 18, my 48-hour buyer agreement. So if you haven't heard that one yet, I would recommend and go back and listen after you finish this one. But in essence, what happened, even after signing an exclusive buyer agency agreement and explaining my value, the only thing that mattered to that client was what he was going to pay me. And in that moment, I had a choice to discount and keep them or stand firm on my value. And I chose to walk away. So let's talk about what to actually say when a client asks for a discount. The first thing is not to get defensive, but to get curious instead. And you want to start asking clarifying questions. Here's a few that you can use. So seller, what's more important to you? Paying the lowest fee or what you put into your bank account at the end of the transaction? Tell me more about what's important to you about that. You can also ask, besides the fee, what matters most to you in choosing the right agent? Listen intently and take notes and really hear what they're saying. Because once you understand where they're coming from, then you can respond with real confidence and meet them where they're at. So here are a few examples. I hear what you're saying and I understand saving money is important to you. My fee reflects the level of service I promise and the results I'll deliver, from pricing and marketing to negotiation and protecting your bottom line. Isn't that more important to you? The next thing you could say is, some agents will charge less, but here's the difference. I just don't get your home sold. I work to net you the most money and guide you every step of the way so nothing falls through the cracks. The last one you could say is, now seller, if I'm quick to discount my fee, how strong do you think I'll be when I'm negotiating your money? Would you rather have someone who folds under pressure or someone holds firm to protect your bottom line? Don't wait until you're sitting at that table to figure out what you're going to say. This is when agents panic or they end up discounting their fee to avoid awkwardness. Practice these lines out loud, role play with another agent, or just say it to yourself in the mirror, or if you have an animal, to your cat or dog. Because the most prepared you are before the conversation, the easier it is to stay calm and confident when it happens. The goal here isn't to fight or convince them. It's to confidently reinforce your value and let the client decide what matters to them. Now, some clients, as I've said before, are going to push back, and that's okay. Because many will say, well, if I don't ask, I don't get. And that's true. I mean, if you were in their shoes, would you do that? Probably. What matters is that you stand firm in what feels right to you and don't let the conversation shake your confidence. Now, as I wrap up today's episode, I'm not saying not to negotiate your fee. That is always between you and your client and what feels good, and of course your broker if it needs their approval. What I want you to know is this. It is okay to stand firm, to be clear about what you want and what you're willing to accept. You get to decide, not the client's pressure, not your fears, or not that another agent is discounting their compensation. Listen to this. If you keep discounting, you're going to keep struggling with inconsistent income. Standing firm is what creates predictability in your business. Now, if you find this podcast helpful, leave a rating and review for me. It helps other agents just like you find this podcast. Now, what's your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Jump over to my IG, link is in the show notes, and tell me what resonated most. I'm cheering you on every step of the way. Until next time, bye for now. Success as a real estate agent comes down to a decision to show up, take action, and stay committed. So don't just listen. Apply what you learned today and put it into motion. If you need help getting started, I want you to grab my free 60 Lead Gen Strategy Guide so you can start finding the right lead gen strategies that'll work for you. And if you're a motivated, ambitious agent who's ready to hit six figures, join my Roadmap to 100K program. You'll find both links in the show notes. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with a fellow agent and leave me a 5-star rating and review, as it helps more agents just like you find the show. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time on The Profitable Real Estate Agent.